Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today we are entering real rugged ground. 5 watches, constructed not to sit in the boardroom or at dinner table, but to go on the field, in the cockpit, and at the battle line. These are watches created and, in some instances, distributed to military officers and specialists in the field and the world, where failure is an unacceptable option. No fashion-first thinking appears on this list. Each and every design decision on these watches has its origin in an actual operation need. Desire a watch that has been really tested in real extreme situations? Then this is the place you need to be. Let's get into it. Number 5. Marathon GSAR, or Government Search and Rescue, is as near to genuine, contract-grade, military-grade gear on the wrist of a civilian that a civilian can have. Marathon has provided the U.S. and Canadian military with watches over the decades, and the GSR was designed to the same high standards and not watered down to suit retail outlets. It has an outstanding point that it uses tritium gas tubes instead of the usual lume. These small luminous capsules, or gas tubes, emit light that can last to 25 years without being required to be charged by light, meaning that the GSR is extremely readable when submerged in complete darkness at all times, no exceptions. The fiber-reinforced model is very durable but very lightweight, has a maximum water capacity of 300 meters, and the oversized crown and bezel has been made to be user-friendly even when using a thick pair of gloves. It is a watch which is constructed on one very strict task: complete reliability in real search and rescue situation, where the life of somebody might be at stake in case of what time it is. There is no ornamentation on the GSR. Each of the characteristics is there because someone out there had a real need to have it. The Marathon GSR will cost about $700 to $800 USD. Number 4. Luminox Navy SEAL line will carry with it a pedigree of actual operation history. Luminox has a formal licensing engagement history of selling watches to the U.S. Navy SEAL forces, and the design decisions have an unmistakably no-nonsense attitude of the type of hardy performance needed in the demanding conditions. Similarly to the Marathon, the Navy SEAL line makes use of continuously lit tritium illumination technology so that the dial is perfectly readable, even in the dark, without being exposed to light ahead of time otherwise, which is vital compared to typical photoluminescent lume, which accumulate intensity as they decay. The case is strong and can endure up to 200 meters of water and has a high contrast dial which can be easily read in stress, giving the split-second version. Its straps are usually rugged straps made of nylon or rubber and designed to withstand salt water, sand, and feel no abuse. Although the Navy SEAL line will run the gamut of price and style, the philosophy of the line remained consistent, namely create a watch that was tough enough and readable enough that a special operations professional could rely on it. To those who like tactical design but can see that the branding has its strategic background, it is one of the most plausible variants of the market. The Luminox Navy SEAL has a price of about $200 to $350 USD, varying with the configuration. Number 3. Bertucci A-2T has its own niche in tactical wristwatch, making a truly rugged field watch made of titanium in an exceptionally light and comfortable case, making it one of the few tool watches on this list that you could comfortably wear the entire day and never leave feeling encumbrance by the carrying weight. The defining design feature is the case-shrouded design. The crystal is recessed and safeguarded by the actual body of the case, and the risk of impact damage on the weakest component of any watch is significantly diminished. The dial adheres to traditional military field watch criteria: bold numerals, high contrast hands, and in all lighting conditions. Practically perfect legibility are combined with what might be considered as the ultimate instances of the tritium or the regular lume, depending on the model. Bertucci has established its brand amongst outdoorsmen, hikers, and field protesters who appreciate utilitarianism over bling, and the A-2T offers the very type of no-frills, scratch-resistant, wear-tough hold which those followers are seeking. It is a watch that fades into the background of your day in the best way possible, in that it is always readable, is always tough, and never insists on its own attention. The Bertucci A-2T costs about $150 to $250 USD. Number 2, CWC G10. This is without exaggeration the real thing. The CWC G10 is a field watch that had been issued to British Armed Forces personnel since the 1980s and is currently in active military service. It is not a watch that is being influenced by the language of military design. It is the standard issue timepiece that soldiers use in the real life of operations, and that realness is what alters the whole discussion about it. The austere, single crystal, bar-like design of the case, the clear, high radium black face, and the direct, no-frills quartz mechanism within all are merely serviceable. There is not a single beautifying detail on this watch. CWC has kept supplying the G10 to the British Armed Forces over the decades and has added minor details to refine the basic philosophy that has seen it trusted over such a long period of time. Maximum reliability, maximum simplicity, maximum legibility, regardless of the environment. It is one thing to own a CWC G10, which is equipment which has been tested in the harshest conditions imaginable, actual combat and field service over a generations-long test. Not many watches can honestly claim to be this way regardless of its price. The CWC G10 is sold at an estimated $200–300 USD. Number 1. The Casio G-Shock GW400 Rangeman has been used to claim first place on the modern list, and it is common within the ranks of true outdoor and tactical experts that it is, in fact, the most complete survival tool ever put on a wrist. The Rangeman was originally designed in collaboration with the Self-Defense Forces of Japan and built without compromise to survive in areas of extreme cold, extreme heat, high altitude, and massive physical forces, and yet provide mission-critical information when it is needed the most. Triple sensor gives accurate digital direction, barometric pressure, and altitude that is good enough to predict an oncoming storm, and tough solar charging and multi-band atomic synchronization so that the watch is never out of power and is always exactly true at any point in the globe. Mud-resist case design and its textured grip pattern, designed to look like gloves, are a result of a design process that is based on actual operational use and not design trends. It is the watch that search and rescue teams, military users, and dramatic expedition leaders keep on using generation after generation. Not because of a marketing campaign, but because the watch had, and still has, been proven reliable in the situations where failure was never a viable result. The retail price of the Casio G-Shock GW9400 is around $300–400 USD.